That was the national anthem of America. It speaks of land of the free and home of the brave, but is it really so nice to the people? If you take a look at the third verse, it's all about racism. Their blood has washed out of their foul footsteps pollution. No refuge could save the hireling and slave from the terror of flight or the gloom of the grave. Today we will take a look at a very special poem. We will take a look at The White Man's Burden by Rudyard Kipling. And the main question is The White Man's Burden by Rudyard Kipling racist? If you take a look at the first stanza, on the first glance you will think it's very patriotic. Take up the white man's burden, send forth the best you breed. Go bind your sons to Axel, to serve your captives' need. To wait in heavy harness, on flooded folk and wild, your new-cut sullen peoples, half devil and half child. All patriotic? No, it's not. If you take a real good look at it, you will see that it's more racist than you will think on the first glance. For example, take up the white man's burden. The white man's, both words are with a capital letter. Why are they with a capital letter? Is the white man seriously that elite, that it has capital letters, that it deserves capital letters? Or is it simply to focus on the words white man? Only the best breed is up to the task. Breed, it defines some sort of spectacular thing about humans. They are divided in breeds. It could simply be referring to a family, but we think different. These men will take up the white man's burden, will be separated from home to take care of the captives in any way possible. They will also wait in heavy harness. So while doing everything for the mentioned captive, they will also have to protect them from a certain danger. The white men have just caught this new danger, who is not 100% human, but is filled with the evil and moves in a weird way. Then again, flooded folk and wild. It isn't very nice to say that about a person. New caught. It's like a sort of animal, but we're talking about humans. Also, half devil does not define something human-like, but something evil. If we take a look at the second stanza, it's about picking up the responsible of sharing a collective burden, which refers to warfare. Soldiers need to be patient, maybe because of the circumstances during war. It might also mean that they have to show good conduct in another country to win the hearts of the local people. They have to cover the terror they are capable of using and show how humanity instead of pride, so that the indigenous people won't see them as a possible invader. The speaker assumes that the indigenous people are retarded, thus the soldiers need to simplify their arguments. They came here for their own gains. Especially that the people that live there are not as elite as the people, the white man, is shown in 100 times made plain. Moving to the stanza.
In this stanza, the speaker admits that the white man's burden is basically a savage war with the label of peace. The white man will bring food and provide medical care, only to deceive the local and keep them on a leash. Because when the white man's goal becomes close by, it will be the end of the locals. They will get educated if they do not obey the new law of the white man. The hopes of the local people will then be vanished, as the white man shows his true intention. And we will move on to the fourth stanza.
Stanza 4. Once again, it's repeated, take up the white man's burden. It's really trying to get in your head that one line. To carry this burden is not about some cheap display of who is the boss. It's about hard work, comparable to work of a slave or sweeper. You get no honor from it, and it's hard, painful work. It's a repeating story every single day. As a reward for this hard work, the white man gets nothing, no honor. Instead, he gets restrictions. He can't travel through the ports, and he cannot go by road. So basically he can't go home and he's forced to stay and work. The ever-repeating story. Instead of going where he wants to go, he has to make his own path. Only then he can go. So he can go, but with restrictions. But if he goes, he has to put so much effort in the trip and we will pay for it with his life. Moving on to stanza 5.
Till now there is no reward for all the hard work that the white man did. But in this stanza there are some reward. The reward is blame and hate from those that they think that are better than them. What he means with better is those that the white man thinks that they are better than. By saying that the white man is guarding them, you might ask yourself who have the protection from who. Then the speaker say, why brought he us from bondage or love Egyptian night? Here is he referring to the biblical story of the Jews being free from slavery in Egypt. They did not want to be free from what they used to. This same apply here. The speaker sees this as a form of slavery and he thinks that this is a very dark way of living. Moving on to stanza 6.
Once again, take up the white man's burden. The line is really going into your head. You always say it. This time we are looking at the text. Freedom has a capital letter. It's very peculiar. Looking at the text as a whole, the stanza as a whole, you don't dare to submit too less, not to ask for freedom too much. But you must cloak your tiredness, because if you don't, if you cry or whisper, or you try to dare to leave, the silent, ill-humoured people shall judge you and your God. Not only the white men are being oppressed, but also their beliefs, so they have no move to go. It's very peculiar that freedom has a capital letter. They want to get your focus on the word freedom. Freedom is a privilege, and it would really get your focus here. So it's the main topic from the stanza. Freedom is what everybody wants, and freedom is what everybody wants to get. Moving up to stanza 7.
In this stanza, the speaker is talking about playing time is over, and boys should become and behave like true men. No free incenser compliments anymore. This has to be earned by first finding and showing their manhood overseas. Even though there won't be any appreciation for their work, at least they will become thorough and hard with hard-earned wisdom. That's how their comrades will perceive one another. Now we are moving to the main question.
The main question in this article is the white man's burden by Rudyard Kipling racist? The answer is yes, it is racist. If we take a step back at the first stanza, we notice a few keywords. They are pointed in red. White man. It's a privilege to have capital letters. Only royal people get capital letters, names of people. So it's very peculiar that white man gets more honor to have a capital letter. Also what we mentioned earlier, breed, flood with folk and wild, new cod, and half devil and half chub. It's not very nice to call people that. So these are 5 sources in one stanza alone that define racism. If we take a look at the second stanza, we can see the line in red. 100 times made plain. The white man had to explain things that are very plain 100 times, which is quite something to explain something 100 times. So basically they are saying they are so stupid that they can't comprehend something after 1 time or 2, but they really need 100 times, because they are so stupid. Racism till the max. Moving on to the next, historical context. So this poem is racist, but we have to look a bit at historical context. At the time, modern imperialism was very common. Countries just took other countries over to gather resources. So basically, to oppress another was very common during the time. Also, decolonization only happened up to the Vietnam War. This means that before the time, colonization was very common, just as modern imperialism. So oppressing another force to get resources, to get your own country more stable and more strong, to invade other countries, was very common. So basically, it's very normal. Moving on to the next topic, recap.
In this poem, the speaker has some strong recommendation that he wants to let people hear of. He wants the white people to send their best bread to get exile and help their captives. They should repeat themselves with small words so that the people can understand them. The speaker wants that the white man help stop famine and disease, even though the people that they are helping will try everything to stop this by being foolish and lazy. This work is not a glamorous one. They might not even see what they work have payoff. Some might even die trying, but he thinks the white man should make the sacrifice anyway. It is no doubt that the people that they are going to help will hate them. This is because those people don't understand the help that they are receiving. The speaker says that this is a test and that they should not falter because they will be judged by how committed they are to this work. They will not be judged only by the native but also by their peers.
The end.